Fuck. Moana is directed by Thomas Kail, and it follows the plot of Moana wanting to save her village, so she embarks on a quest past the, it's Moana. You've seen Moana, right? You know the plot of Moana? Well, guess what? I actually hadn't seen the first original animated Moana until this morning. Guess what? I'm not a big Disney fan. It's not that I hate every single Disney movie that I've seen. Some of them I actually kind of enjoy, but for the most part, they're just not for me. I'm not interested in them. And part of me was actually considering going into this new live-action remake of Moana, like, totally blind without having seen the original, because I thought that might be a unique perspective. But another part of me was like, okay, look, this is the cynical corporate cash grab Disney live action remake of Moana. Chances that I'm gonna enjoy this thing at all are extremely low, and I feel like I might have such a negative experience with this live action remake that it might prevent me from ever watching the original Moana just because my association with that brand is now this. And I thought it might help add to the review if I was able to review it as an adaptation. And look, the cartoon, it's not my kind of movie necessarily, but it was cute and it did what it was supposed to do. I had a decent time watching it on my work computer this morning. I love animation as an art form, but you know, the CG sort of generic Disney movie look doesn't appeal to me. This is totally a sensibility based thing, but as I was watching Moana or just any other movie of that kin, I'm always just thinking, man, I would just love this so much more if it was animated in traditional 2D animation. But despite that, I liked the original Moana, and I even thought that it had a really pretty vibrant color palette that I enjoyed. Fuck, this live action remake of Moana makes me feel like the original Moana had the animation sensibilities of like Belladonna of Sadness or something, because holy fuck. And look, I know it's a live action Disney remake. I went into this knowing I probably wouldn't like it and that this wasn't for me. Come to think of it, I don't think I've actually seen a live action Disney remake because it's just never appealed to me, and I've always heard that they sucked. I don't think any amount of buzz surrounding these live action Disney remakes could have prepared me for how dreadful this experience of watching the Moana remake was. From what I can understand, a lot of these Disney remakes are kind of just carbon copies of the animated version, but done in a much less appealing live action aesthetic. But I feel like some have taken certain creative liberties. I seem to remember Mulan taking some creative liberties, and even the recent Lilo and Stitch remake had some controversial changes. But I think we're at the point now where Disney has recognized, oh, okay, well, people are gonna go see these movies regardless of how they're critically received. We don't need to have people try and put effort into putting their own spin on an original property, because critics are gonna hate it regardless, and general audiences are still gonna come in droves to see this garbage. So the end product of this new Moana movie comes up very petty, because there is absolutely no creative spin or all new vision here or anything. They actually just kind of largely plucked the script from the cartoon and redid it shot for shot, Gus Van Sant Psycho style. Only not only is this not nearly as visually appealing as the cartoon, but it is actually visually ghastly. This movie looks almost entirely shot on a green screen, and the lighting is abysmal. It looks like they shot it in an office building. I shit you not, this movie looks worse than the Star Wars prequels at times. There was not one frame of this thing where I was enjoying anything I was looking at. You can tell right off the bat they're just kind of, I'd say adapting is a loose term. They're just doing the exact same thing as the original. And there's that scene at the beginning where the grandma character is explaining the lore of Maui and everything to this group of kids, and the young Moana's in the front, and she's the only one who's actually really excited by the story. And it's funny because even though I'm not a big fan of the Disney animation style, the amount of cuteness and expression they were able to convey through that child version of Moana in that small scene is now replaced by, I'm sorry, an absolutely horrendous child actor who looked like she didn't even know where she was while she was being filmed. And come to think of it, all the acting in the movie is pretty bad. It at least goes from completely forgettable, mediocre, to actually awful. I don't blame any of the actors here for this. They all got a paycheck and did what I'm sure they were directed to do. The girl who played Moana throughout the movie, bless her heart, I felt nothing for her. She didn't convince me with any of her dialogue delivery. And look, I'm not exactly a fan of Dwayne Johnson. Goes without saying, he just kind of plays The Rock in everything he's in. But I never thought I would say that The Rock was weirdly enough, a charisma vacuum in this movie. He just seemed entirely bored in every scene he was in. And again, comparatively speaking, his character in the animation just had so much expression and was fun, and I thought that his voice like weirdly kind of suited the character in animation. But he does not have that range that was conveyed through animation in live action. He just kind of has the same stoic facial expression the entire time, and fuck, he did not work at all for what this dynamic needed. It didn't help that I had literally just watched what is essentially the exact same movie right before going into this, but my brain was almost entirely checked out throughout the entire runtime. This is a completely useless waste of time torture film. That isn't to say I don't think your kids wouldn't enjoy it if they're like really young and really love Moana. I'm sure they'll be like, wow, look, it's like real life now. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Don't take your family to see this. This movie does not respect you, so you should not respect it. You have the cartoon, just watch it at home. The cartoon is infinitely superior in every way. I'd say save your money, spare your children having to grow up with absolutely zero media literacy. This movie is bad for your children. This movie is bad for you. This movie is bad for the world. Am I surprised? No, not at all. You shouldn't be surprised either. This is a pointless fucking review. I don't know why I watched this. Moana 2026 gets one of the easiest and least surprising 1 out of 10 ratings I've ever given. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a good one.